All right, so should we start?
Cathy, you need a fair band and a roller?
Yes, if you want a ball, grab one. If you want a yoga block, grab that too. All toys are welcome back.
How are you, Cathy?
Great. Of course, as always, I'm so happy to be here. All right, so we're starting laying down head to tail. Hey, great to have you back. Once we're down, just sort of take a moment to breathe. Feel your sacrum and tail heavy. Your weight's floating off of the roller, the shoulder blades down around the curves, and feet, 4 to 5 inches apart, perhaps. Back of the hands extend out along the ground in a T position, arms to body, and then slowly tip your body from side to side. As you move from one side to the other, drape your body around the curves of the roller, and let the roller sort of press the shoulder blades sideways laterally, so that you feel a little bit of extra stretch here at the rhomboids and the traps as you go from the right to the left. You also feel that stretch at the tissue of the glutes away from the sacrum, helping you find a little bit more release and lengthening in the muscle there. And then we'll come back to center. Be sure your feet are grounded and the arms curl up with the air above. Right over your chest, wrap your arms around the visible ball, and then exhale back to that ball, expanding to push the arms apart and then down. Back of the hands rest on the ground simultaneously. Hi there. And then lift to come up. And exhale, the arms slowly descend. Breathe in deeply, let really fill the lungs, let the belly expand and lift. And then exhale, breathe out, bringing the air out of your lips a little bit at a time. And feel the navel draw down, 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 deep to knit the transverse abdominis together. So we pull the arms up, hug the air above you. Breathe out, and picture the air flowing out of your mouth, out of the bottom of your lungs, into the air above you. So the arms expand to take that extra volume. We'll lift again. Embrace in, pull the air up tight and breathe in deeply, and exhale, take the arms open and stretch your chest from side to side. And now we lift the arms, point the fingers to the ceiling, and then exhale, let the blades sink. Inhale, up with the arms, the blades pull up around the side of your ribs, on the edges, and exhale, the blades melt down, and they hook around the edges of your roller. Going up. Of course, you could always do the series even if you don't have a roller. It's just nice to have the elevation and the chance to balance work here. It also will help open up your chest, like just laying on the roller is effective in opening up the collarbones and spreading the chest a little wide. Shrug up on the inhale, sink down on the exhale. Arms rise again. Shrug the shoulders away from the floor, protraction, and then retraction, the blades come down. And we do that again. Letting up. And exhale, sinking down. Next, turn the palms forward and exhale, lengthen the arms down at your side. Reach long through your fingertips. And we're going to inhale to lift the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, take the arms back by your ears. Reach back, stretch the lats, stretch the abs, then bring the arms forward. They glide up in unison and exhale all the way down here. Tap the fingers to the mat. The arms rise in parallel and they sink in parallel. If one arm is tighter than the other, one shoulder is tighter than the other, just try to take the arms only to the place where the less flexible arm and shoulder will go. I'm going to try to match up the flexibility on both sides, the right versus the left. You also, in that situation, could just do individual arm lower lifts and do more on the side that's tight, right? Until you catch up. So we lift up and then press behind you, reach the blade slide towards your waist as the arms go back by the ears. And then lift the arms slowly. You want to feel the weight of the arm, feel the work that the muscles have to do to pull the arm up and then prevent the arms from sliding down too fast. One more. A lot of times working really slowly gives you more work in the body. You also can really feel where you're at your range of motion, what will work for your body. Challenge you without overdoing it. From here, let's bring your hands to your shoulders and circle the elbows in and then up. Exhale out, wide around and down. Mobilizing the shoulder blades underneath you, between the rib cage and the roller. Notice you go in tight, and then they can pull up wide. As long as this feels good in your shoulder joints. If you have any doubts, take it a little slower, a little smaller. Pay attention to the signals your body sends you when you do things like this. You really can't force flexibility, you need to find it. Complete this circle, and then let's reverse. Go down, wide, around the curve, and up to the top, and down again. There's a little rotation that happens here with the arm on the socket, as you move as you circle. You're breathing with it, it's still one breath per circle, even though the movements are rather small, the breath is really elongated and deep. We start always with a shorter inhale and a longer exhale to find more relaxation in the nervous system. And one more circle, one more breath. And then extend the arms forward, lengthen out through your fingers to the end of the mat. And we lift the arms up, all the way up the back on the inhale, and exhale, circle wide around and forward, palms spread open, fingers wide, at the bottom, turn the palms down, and we lift the arms up and press back. Again, and then circle out, sweep out. Arms come through the air, palms down again, let's do one more in this direction, reach behind you. Feet solidly into the ground, think of your feet spreading, growing longer, growing wider, and sinking deeper into the floor. And let's reverse. So palms up to circle around and back. Exhale, push the arms forward through the air. Good, you move it aside and then you move through it, reach back. And reach up as high as you can with the fingers and pull down with the weight of the shoulder blades. Find that length in the arms, so find that opposition of reach in both directions. You reach up and down simultaneously to help elongate the muscles while we work them. Out we go around back. Exhale. The belly pulls tight and pulls deep as you lower the arms and then more two. So you feel that stretch in your chest and the pecs as well as in your lats. And then diamond arms, thumbs together, index fingers together. Hands are aligned with your forearms, with the upper arms, and then press lightly hand to hand. The arms swing back, break your face, hold the ribs where they were, and then glide the arms forward and down. The shoulder blades move underneath you. You want to feel that sliding action as the arms go past 90 degrees. That's when the blades slide towards your waist and laterally. And then as you lift the arms up, they sort of narrow in, and they're heavy, they sink towards the ground as you lower the hands down, just floating your hands over your abs. One more, reach back. You feel that stretch at the side of your waistline too, and then bring the arms forward and down. And then from here, we slide off of the roller. And we'll take it under the knees and then across the sacrum. Just a little knee sways here. So once you're down, bend your feet, lift your hips up and roll the roller across under the sacrum. It's sort of at the widest part of your hips. Pull one knee in, then the other. And we kick the knees back at an angle that is comfortable for your back. You don't want to feel the back arching too much. Tip the knees over to the right and turn the hips left. Keeping the left shoulder blade grounded. If you feel that diagonal stretch in your abs or even across your hip. Exhale, press your arms. You lift the right hip up to bring the legs back to center and keep lifting the right hip in an arc across the room to bring the knees down to the left. Look away. And feel the weight in the right shoulder here. Go ahead. Exhale to bring the knees up. And inhale across and down. And again, press into your arms, help you engage into your arm muscles as well as the abdominal wall. then turns away, look away from the movement of your legs. And hopefully you're doing this, just breathe and find your pace. You want to feel that you're massaging out not only the SI joint area, but really find in the glutes, like where you might feel a little tender, or it might be a little sore. Those are places where you're holding tension without realizing it most of the time. And then we're gonna go over one more time, the knees going to the right and pause there to do some circles with the knees. Keep them together and stir them so you get a little bit more massage into the glute muscle. You can shift the angle of your legs to try to find a different spot that might need help more than where you originally landed. Reverse the circles. A lot of people walk in a way that makes their backs really tense. Usually happens because they're landing hard on their heels and they get pushed off with the toes and the big toe and the ball, the big toe. But in that case, this becomes like a great exercise to do because you want to try to release tension you've created by walking sort of flat-footed without a push off from the back. So this would be the temporary fix. The permanent fix would be to walk using the full rolling through your feet. I've just been seeing a lot of clients recently with that same issue. So we're circling here. And even if you don't do that, this feels really good to take care of this muscle. And then we can reverse the circles. One more circle. Come to center. Lift the legs up to the ceiling. And let's bring the heels back so you feel, flex the foot. So you feel a stretch in both the calves and the hamstrings. And then roll through the foot, point the foot, and then curl the toes back and lift the heels. Good. And then roll through the foot again, soft point. Toes pull back with the heels until then stretching your calf muscles. Once more. And then soft point with the feet. With scissor, right leg back, left leg forward, open up the stretch, and then switch the legs. Inhale to switch here. And exhale to switch here. Just breathe through this. Tracking the legs straight out of the hip socket. The legs should end up being about 4 to 6 inches apart, maybe, depending on the size of your structure. Watching that the leg doesn't get pulled sideways or medially, but really finds its own track and stays in the track as you go. Now we'll bring both fists up to the ceiling, externally rotate, heels together, toes apart, and then pull the right leg out to the side while you hold the left hip grounded. You press through your arms, exhale, pull the right leg up. Tap the heels, now leave the right leg up, take the left leg out and down. Draws that semicircle towards the floor, comes down in an arc, and then comes all the way back up. And then the right side goes down. The left hip sinks into the roller to actively push it down so the hips don't tip. Press through the arms, press your head into the roller to lift the leg. And now with the right leg up, the left leg reaches out, and down. Tracing that arc in the air, and then pull it all the way up. Move slowly enough that you're not just rebounding and throwing the leg up in the air. And now we do both. Pull them apart. Inner thigh stretch, and exhale, work the upper inner thighs, placing us together. And we'll do that once more. And exhale, close. Now in parallel legs, let's bring the left leg back to your chest and the right leg forward and out. And we draw a big circle in the ceiling with our paintbrush toes. So circling legs out and around. Each leg draws a semicircle in the air. And then you reverse. Really make sure you're rotating the leg on the hip joint as you do this. Always think of this as a meditation for the hips. Can help keep that joint really healthy for you. One more breathing as you go. Maybe inhale for one direction and exhale for the next. And then we'll pull the legs up to the ceiling, fold the knees into your chest, hug them in tight. Curl the tail up a little bit, so a little more stretch in that right joint area here. And then holding up to the roller, lower your feet down as you exhale. Lift your hips up and slide the roller out underneath you. And then we're just going to go forward. Take the arms back, stretch your body, fingertips to toes, and we roll up, lifting the arms, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders. Pull up, the shoulders narrow a little bit here, the chest narrows, and you dive over your legs. Stretching, reaching as you pull the waist back into the curve of your spine. And then we can stack the spine on up. Good. We're rolling back into hundreds here. So bend your knees. And we sit right up on the sits bones. Extend your arms forward. Look down. Curl the tail up towards your gaze. Rub behind your sits bones onto the glute, over the sacrum, down to the hip, down to the waist, go into the base of the ribs, pull the legs in, extending arms parallel to the ground, extend the legs up to the ceiling and pump. Inhaling and exhale. Remember, don't look up at your knees, don't look up at your toes, look down at your abs. Visually watch the navel lift on the inhale and sink on the exhale. If you sort of let the sternum sink into the spine and curl the shoulders slightly up and in, you can feel a little bit more like support for the curved ribs under your back. Your head is up, you're trying to come as vertical with the head and neck as you possibly can, as your structure allows. By keeping that deep curl, we're getting work into the abdominal wall and trying to reduce the strain on the neck. One more breath. Push the air out, exhale completely, and then fold your knees in, roll the spine down, lay your hip back, lower your feet and take the feet as wide as your mat. Extend the arms out of the T, and now we're just letting the knees swing over to the right. So one leg is externally rotated, one is internally rotated, and then sweep the knees to the other side, sort of like windshield wipers here. And so look away. And we'll do another set. So roll across the hip, roll across the glute. And then once more like that. Back to center, pull the legs together, extend them forward, roll ups next. So bring the arms forward and down to pull the shoulders away from your ears. Then lift the arms, weight of the arms sink into the blades. The arms go back. You yawn your body open to the ceiling, legs together. Lift their hands up, start to lift your head. Big exhale, come forward, round your back off the ground. Dive forward, try to really work the abdominals and not just the hip flexors. And that's also why we pull the waist back here to stretch out the low back, to stretch out the low spine. And then start to curve back. Now, the arms lower is easier, using a bare bend around your feet would be easier. Having weights like on your ankles would also make it easier. But we try to go down slowly, articulate down with control, and then reach it back. You modify as you need to. And lift to come up. Breathe, curve the ribs forward. Now with that, it's easier to kind of reach through the inner edge of the arm. So the shoulder blades pull around towards the side and the front of the body. If you were trying to pull your shoulders back now, you would flatten out your spine. So we're going to roll back. Lengthen out from the center of each foot. The tail goes up, and you definitely need like enough padding under your spine when you do Pilates. So this is comfortable for your back to move. Like usually Pilates mats are a little thicker than yoga mats. So often we stack 2 or 3 yoga mats if you're on a hard floor like this dance floor here. Up, 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 and over as if you're wrapping your body around a beach ball here. And then as you start to go back, imagine the beach ball rolling up the front line of your body, your belly, up your chest, to your throat. You pick up the ball and take it behind you. All right, so from here, we're circling up to the ground. You're going to have with bare hands. And we'll take the band around the right foot. Put the center of the band on the ball of the foot, the arch. And then lift the leg up to the ceiling. Keep your up on the band and pull the elbows down by your waist. Slide the elbows forward towards your hips to be sure that you're not having that lovely shoulder earmuff look. So pull the toes down with the heel and then get to a soft point with your foot. Here we keep the hips level as we inhale, take the right leg across to the left, the right hip is heavy. Go low, you externally rotate the leg as it sweeps out to the right, and the left side of the body presses into the ground. Our goal is to take the biggest circle here possible without destabilizing the torso on the mat. If your hips feel a little sticky, like sometimes they just do because you haven't really moved them much, you want to reach out into the band, try to think of having more length in the leg so that you give the muscles a chance to stretch and also the joints the opportunity to find a little bit more space. But still, right hip is down, as you pull the leg over to the left, go low. You rotate the leg gradually around. The angle of the leg changes in the air as you circle. Let's do one more. Just a little internal rotation here. Then you gradually start rotating the legs to the knee and the toes are up at the bottom. Externally rotate, and then gradually come out of it so that their toes and knees are pointing back at the top. Let's reverse. Take it out to the side and reach forward. Big sweep. Push the air aside. Move through it and up to the top. If hamstrings are tight, if the back line is tight, you can definitely start bending the knee as you bring the leg up. It's nice to get the foot up and right over the hip, if possible, even if that means the knee is softening and bending a bit as you come to the top. You can stretch it long as it goes around towards the floor. One breath per circle, again, a shorter inhale, maybe for a quarter of the distance, and a longer exhale, all the way around, up to the top. The glute is heavy as you lift the leg. And here we'll take both ends of the band in the right hand, choke up on it. Externally rotate and bring the leg out to the side. Now really, if you find that your hip is tipping up, pull the hip down, lift the leg, and really get the hip grounded, and then take the leg out, all the way as far as you can go, while the left side of the body stays heavy on the mat. Now, rock the leg a little bit, very slowly, very smooth. Don't force it, just give it a gentle tug, so you can feel more than one line of the inner thigh muscles stretch. Then we'll exhale, we'll pull this leg up from those upper inner thigh muscles. At the top, switch hands. And you can take the right arm out to the side, across the floor, and bring that right leg across the body, lifting the hip gradually. Only if it feels good in your back. Reach out long through the foot, but you can bend the knee again if that makes it a better stretch for you. And we pull the heel towards your shoulder on the left. Right shoulder is down. Now here, rotate the leg a little internally from the thigh, not from the foot. Get the maximum stretch across the glute in towards the sacrum. And now we unwind the body, shoulder goes down, waist goes down, hip goes down. We lift the leg up and pull it in. Get more stretch in the back line. You definitely want to feel that it's in the belly of the muscle, not too much behind the knee or at the sit bone. If you want, you can come up to an upper curl and look down against your body again. If you feel that in your upper abdominals, and then release down and hug the knee tight to your chest. The band comes off, you pull the knee in. If the knee's a little tricky today, you would have your arm on the hamstring. So you have a little bit more space for the knee to be less folded. And then here, let's release that leg down. Shake out both legs, and then just relax and feel the difference in the two sides. Not only the leg that you notice the difference in, you also be able through the pelvic calves, even up into the waist and the shoulder blades, maybe even the arm is one of the legs on the right side. And then we'll do the other leg. So we can pull the leg in. Let's take the center of the band around the ball of the foot. And lift the leg up to the ceiling. Choke up on the band, particularly the lighter one. And then the elbow slide forward, lift the legs up. Do a couple of flexes there, have a plank, and for the plank. This is your get the stretch in the calf. And pull the leg back towards your torso to get the stretch in the hamstring. We did a point and circle. Inhale across the body and exhale go low. You're pivoting the forearm from your elbow, trying to think of keeping the wrist straight. But the forearm, the band are all drawing lines parallel to the line of your leg in space. And you remember it's a short deep inhale and a long slow exhale to pull the navel deep and down. You're going to really feel that knitting together of the abdominal wall as you have the longer exhalation. Stretch. This stretches the outer line of your leg, and then it stretches the inside line of the leg, and at the top it stretches the back of the leg. So reach again and push forward into the band as you pull back with your hips, back with your elbows, really letting the band give you a lot of support, but also some resistance to push away into. Drag it around, the hips are steady here, no matter where the leg is, you're keeping both pelvic halves grounded. Think of sinking deeper into your mat if you're laying on sand on a beach towel, a beautiful beach. So reach out and circle. Come up here to the top and reverse. Out to your left, the right side is grounded, it's heavy. And then as it comes, leg gets across, the left side gets heavier. You're shifting the ballast in the sailboat, so stretch. All the way around here. Lift it to the top, feel that length in the back of your leg. Feel the sits bone. We'll do one last one. Come around up to the top, and now here, left hand's gonna hold both ends of the band. The elbow anchors down, rotate the leg externally, keep the right side grounded. In fact, try to rotate to the right, so you're actively dropping the right side of the body into the floor, and then rock the leg a little bit here. Feel the work in the position as much as you feel the stretch. And then let's lift the leg up to the ceiling, switch hands, and extend the left arm out. Gradually fold the leg over, spiraling with the spine here, if it's appropriate for your back, right? Sometimes people will feel better just having it grounded. Depends where you're tight and what's going on in your back. So rotate the leg internally as you can, and pull the leg back towards your shoulder. It will work into that right arm. Imagine your breath going wherever you feel tight in your muscles. Body will expand as you inhale and get together as you exhale. And then let's pull the hip down, lift the leg up. And here's where you have that chance again. If you want the hands up higher on the bench towards your foot. Then the elbows out wide as you come up and pull yourself to the upper curl. Check that the other leg is moving straight forward out of the socket. It hasn't gone skew out to the side. Try to feel the upper curl when you're in this position. And then lay yourself down, folding the in, and the band is off to the side. Push everything out. I know the series takes a while to get through, but it's really, I feel like, essential in our culture where we end up spending so much time sitting. Most of us, right? Probably all of us. So let's lift the arms, do a roll up, head, neck, shoulders, exhale, pick up the ribs, come up with your head, and then dive forward and down, hold onto your ankles or calves or the toes, whatever you can reach, and then just stretch the waist back. We're going to come forward to the front third of your mat for rolling like a ball. Here's where you want to be sure you don't have padding under you. All right, so rolling like a ball, we're going to start with the hands to the shins. Easier would be hands to your thighs, edges looking together, knees apart. Pick the legs up as you curl the tail up and balance on your sacrum. For finding that balance point, push the shins forward, the arms back, the hands back, elbows wide here, suck the belly into the curve of your spine. Then we lift the tail roll back, keep your gaze down. So you roll to your legs, exhale, come right back up where you started. And ideally you go back in a straight line, right down the middle of your mat, and you follow that line back up. The breath really helps. Yeah. So you keep your gaze tucked down. Roll to your blades. Come forward, ride the exhale back and up, and one more time. Just like that. If you want to advance this exercise, when you come up, you can go up into a teaser position like so. A little more challenge for the balance. So we roll. Inhale, associate the blades, exhale, lift, and then extend. Hold it in, roll again, look down. Lift the tail, just shift the weight. Roll and extend, reach. If you feel like your back is arching, don't extend the legs. Yep. Find a little more curl through the waistline. One more. Roll back here. Head stays off the ground every time. And extend, stretch. And let's rest the feet down. It's fun, right? So here we go. We're rolling back with the abs here. So right hand to right ankle, left hand below the knee on the right shin. Pick up the knee. You curl the tail up. You imprint your spine down, vertebra by vertebra. Come down to your upper curl and stretch the left leg out long, elbows wide. Inhale. Switch your legs. Push up with your shin and down with your hands. And switch again. Inhale for one side. Exhale for the other. Take lengths across the room. Try to reach out to the center of the foot, not through the toes, because you don't want to cramp your feet by pointing too hard. Instead, think of a line going from the center of your knee all the way out to that third metatarsal, the ball of your foot, and like water pouring through there, like your leg is a conduit, like a hose. You're creating a fountain here in the room. We're putting both feet in and rolling up again. Double leg stretch will come next. Yeah, good. So we're rolling back again. So curve back, the arms can go forward. When you come down close to your upper abdomen curl, like you're at the base of your ribs, the tip of your shoulder blades, pull the knees in, push the hands into the shins and the shins up into the arms. So you become a little deeper into the upper abdomen. And then stretch arms and legs up to the ceiling. As you fold the knees in, you circle the arms wide and embrace the knees in towards your chest. So you reach long through fingers to toes. Keep your body grounded here if there's a weight across your waist. So as you advance the movement, you can take the arms further back and legs further out. But you only do that if you're not changing the position of your spine. So if you take the arms back and your head pulls back in space, you've gone too far. So reach and circle, embrace. And rock forward a little bit. Scissors next. So when you're down, I'll have one leg in the air, one leg forward. So roll back, curve your way down here. Pull the knees in when you feel like you can support that. And the right leg goes up. The left leg reaches out, you look down your midline. Pull the leg closer to your chest. And we inhale, just switch the legs. And exhale, switch again. You know the movement, we've done it already today. Different here, when you have to maintain that upper curl and the gaze down. It's really hard not to look up at your feet, I get it. But when you do that, then you'll end up feeling more tension in your neck. Here we're trying to stretch the back of the neck and put the abdominal work here right under the chest, or also in the lower abdominals. Lift both legs, support your head with your hands. So pull the head up, pull the elbows down and in. They narrow a little bit and aim for your navel. Now here we are very cautious and like only let the feet slide a little bit forward to feel the increasing load into the abdominals, which are trying to hold the pelvis steady. Exhale, pull the belly deep and lift the legs up, take your time. And again, it's way too easy to just throw the legs down and then throw them up again, and that doesn't really work here. However, you think of tracing the toes across the sky, and reach up just to the point where you feel like your back is almost going to arch. Don't let it, change direction, exhale and lift. Do that 2 more times. Really pull yourself up. Use your hands to support you in that upper ab work. Reach away, exhale, lift. And one more. And it's fine if you only move a quarter of an inch with your leg and you feel that work, that's where you should be. Should create a wrist of the spine if you go past what your body's ready for. And then rest down, hug the knees in. From here, take one hand to each knee and circle the knees. They move apart and then together. A little bit more hip release and low back release. You can turn your head side to side if that feels good. And then reverse the circles. Okay, and then let's roll up. And we're using the TheraBand for a little rotation. This is sort of a prep for the fifth one in the ab series. So we're going to take the band around both feet. Heels are grounded, toes are up. Band around the balls of the feet. Choke up on the band again. So here, if you turn to your right, I'll turn to my left. I'll mirror you. So you sit right up on your sits bones, twist and pull that right elbow back, and let it lift because you don't want to run into that as like a block here on your way to the ground. So then you are looking over your shoulder, you curl the tail up, and you're going down. Now your spine stays aligned to the center of your mat, right? So your rib cage should be aligned along inside the frame of your legs. Go down just to your shoulder blade. Lift your head, bend. You can pull with the arms again. Come up super slow. Feel all that work in your obliques. Everybody feel it? Yep, I know. It's like a little humbling, right? So take this out again. So one arm is forward, one elbow is up and wide. Your heels are grounded. We tuck and we go back. Imagine like a wall along each side of the leg, going up to your hips, to your shoulder, towards your armpit. You stay inside the wall in that twist. So your spine is still centered on your mat, and then come up super slowly. Right? Make your abs work here, not just your hip flexors. Come all the way up. Good work. Can we do it again? Twist, tuck, and articulate down. There's a line of muscle right to the side of your spine, like about 2 inches away. You're going down on that until you feel the tip of the blade touch. Lift your head, come up. And actually, of course, if when you go down, the heels lift, you may want to go a smaller range of motion, like not as far down. Or the other option there would be to put ankle weights. And then lift your heel up, take your time. Now we're going to do what's called around the world. And we do this eventually either on barrels in the Pilates studio or on the reformers on a box where you suspend it up in the air a little bit on this box. And you're going down and rolling across your shoulder blades and then coming up. And eventually do that like holding a bar up in the air so you have more load and you even dip down into the world behind you. But right now, here on the mat, we don't have that option, but we do have the chance to do this. So we're going to twist here, go down on one side, go across the tip of the blades to the other side, twist the body within the frame of your hips and your legs, and pull up. And then unwind to center, and then we go down the way we came up. So twist, roll down, going over your glutes, down that line of muscle to the side of your spine, across the blades, roll, pull yourself up, use your arms to help you steer, and also give you some extra support. Does that feel good? Yeah. And then here we go again. Remember, whichever side you're tilted to, pull that elbow out and wide so it doesn't block your process, your progress towards the floor. Across the shoulder blades, up, lift to come up. And to center. One more time, going down, and then up again. I think that puts us back where we started. All the way up and center. All right, good work. Should feel nice and warm all through here, and your back should feel like, oh, I really needed that massage. Okay, So here, see the spine stretch, legs out, sit upright, and let's bring the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to try to keep the lower part of the torso vertical here. So you may want to bend your knees. You may also want to sit elevated up on the yoga block or book if that's what's available. All right. So now go up with the chest, go up with the eyes, and then holding an imaginary ball, roll it across the ceiling behind you. So you're waterfalling the upper back over the raw line here. And then you come back to center, engaging the abdominals, and bring your gaze to the horizon. Now look down and pounce up, over, and down with your head. The arms follow the movement of your spine. They're only moving because you're moving your shoulders, right? So we stack the spine to come up. Bring your gaze to the horizon, bring your gaze up the wall to the ceiling. Upper back extension, so the opposite of the upper arm curl. Julie's just working that upper thoracic spine. And then exhale, zip it up from the pubic bone of the navel to the sternum to the eyes. And then look down and curve the waist back as you round forward and over. Take the stretch here in your low back. One more time, press down through your heels and your sits bones come up. Chest rises, heart is high, upper back extension. And exhale, right? Let the head be the last thing in the way to pull up. And then we duck over and down. Now we slide forward for open leg balance and rock. You can hold on to your thighs, it's a little easier. You can also take your hands inside your legs and wrap your hands around the shin bone, right above the ankle. Whichever you choose, you're going to curl the tail up, pull the waist back, round the lower back, and then lift your feet. You're balancing here on your sacrum. From this point, we extend the right leg up. And maybe wrap the hand around the back of the calf to hold it there. And then you can slide the hand around to the inside of the shin as you fold the knee down. So go up and out. Stretch. And bring it back down. Now, there is something called a stretch out strap, which looks like it's like sort of the weight of a yoga strap. The company that makes them, they make them in green, and they've got loops that are attached together. So a lot of my clients, particularly if they're tight in the hamstrings, like to use that because they can put one end on each foot and hold the center of it as the leg goes up. Just if you find that this is hard for you, like if you're still tight in this back line of your leg and in your low back, it's sort of a helpful tool. You could also just use again like a leather belt to hold, like make a loop, and then that would extend your arms to reach for your foot and have a little better connection there. The TheraBands are a little too loose, they don't give you the same support. Now, both legs go up, separate just like shoulder width, pull the heels down again. And we do that again, reach up, stretch, and pull it back. Let's do it again and leave the legs up. Wrap your hands more around the back of the calf. Now we're going to look into your abs, round your back a little more, curl the tail up and roll to your shoulder blades. Hips in the air, exhale, lift, and come forward, try to find the balance. I know, right? What happened? So pull back and exhale forward. So it's really difficult because we did the rolling like a ball. This has a different point of balance. So the body has to like shift gears and go, oh, right. I now have to think about figuring out this exercise. It looks the same, but it's not the same. Right? So here we go, we roll. It's in the air, head off the floor. Oh, and then I was talking too much and not breathing. So we'll do that one more time. Legs up. You need to end on a better one. Stretch and hold. Okay, and then we bend the knees. And here, let's go into, you know what, let's do a shoulder bridge now. So lay onto your back. Have your knees bent. If your hamstrings sometimes crack when you do this, it's useful to take a ball between your thighs. or you could roll up a pillow even or towel and squeeze back. So standing into your feet, we're going to begin by curling the tail up, so you do a pelvic tuck to lift the tail and flatten the waist towards the ground. And then pull the tail forward and up, push your knees forward out over your toes. The hips lift with lift. And you're always looking straight up as you're lifting the hips off the ground. You can push the top of the shoulders down into the floor and roll a little bit externally with the arm. So you roll to the outside of the arm. That helps the blades pull together underneath you and helps you lift the chest higher. And then you should push down across the inner edges of your feet and lift the butt a little bit higher using your glutes. You should feel really strong here. It should be work to hold it up. And now we're going to roll to the inner arm slightly. Let the shoulders curve up and in. And then you drape the upper back down between the shoulder blades. Keep curling the body down 1 vertebra, 1 inch of the spine at a time. Until you're down to your waist, you're down to your sacrum as you lower the tail. The waist splits off the mat. And we do it again. So we rock the spine by pulling the tail up and pressing into that lordotic curve, which is now pushing into the ground. Push into the inside edges of your feet. The knees go forward. The hips go forward. The spine lengthens up into the air. When you've gone into a plank position, then we're going to roll to the outer arms, push the top of the shoulders down, feel the chest widen and the blades fit together behind you, underneath you. And lift your heart a little higher, lift your hips a little higher. And then roll to the inner arm, the shoulders curve up naturally. You're going to soften the front of the body and stretch the back of the body as you roll all the way down. And you're being ironed out, I guess by steam iron, something that really like the heat, the warmth, relax you as you go down vertebra by vertebra into the floor. This time we're going up again to practice some marching. So we curl the tail up. Same thing, we're going to feel your feet solidly planted. The knees go forward as the tail comes up and forward. It's like it's being pulled by a magnet to the wall in front of you, like it up towards the ceiling. Come all the way up so the inside of the elbows roll in towards each other. The top of the shoulders press down. And now here, find, like an imaginary wall between your legs and squeeze in so that your legs are not flopping open. Now from here, push down, pull the right knee in, and lift the right knee up to keep that right glute elevated with the left one. And then keep the right glute up as you lower the foot down, roll the foot into the floor, push into that leg. And then we're trying to go up with the left knee without dropping the hip, right? So as you pick up the knee, reaching up to the ceiling, but it's being pulled by a chain up there, supported. And then the hip is now lifted as the leg lowers. Roll through the foot, and then both feet are down, lift your hips in case they fell, and now roll your spine out, let the shoulders widen across your back, narrow the chest in front, curve your spine down all the way. So that's really hard, right? Because when you take one of the supports of your legs away, obviously that pelvic calf wants to sink. So remember that you've got muscles that run across your body diagonally and also horizontally in the torso. And you can almost imagine that your right side would be cantilevered off the left side when you pick up the right leg. So let's think about that. So let's bring the feet firmly down into the ground. Press into your feet, do your pelvic tuck. Pull the tail forward and up, the knees going forward. You're going to push into the outer arm to the tricep here. Lift your hips up. You're still looking up. You press the legs a little bit more, work through the medial line by feeling the ball of the big toe and the big toe into the floor. Then pick up your right knee, lift the knee up to elevate that right hip. Try extending the leg and lifting the foot up to the ceiling. As you bend the knee, lift the knee up to the ceiling, and then lower the foot. Toe, ball, heel, hip is up. Check to see if maybe your hips are still level. You can lift them a little higher, and then roll to the inner arm and come all the way down. Eventually, we'll be taking the legs full length out to the floor and up again. But until you get that stability to the center, that's not going to happen. So you're going again, press to the inner edges of your feet, because you know they're going to want to rock laterally. So curl the tail up. Go back with the heels. Push the knees and the tail forward and up. You move first into a plank. And then you keep lifting the chest as you roll to the outer arm, the blades knit in behind you. Now they don't touch, but they narrow in. And then really press into the inner legs again. Now stand in the right foot, pull the left knee up. Lift the knee to lift the pelvic half. Lift the foot and lift the foot to lift the pelvic half. Bend the knee and lift the knee, so you're still lifting the pelvic half here on the left. And then lower the toes, push up with the hip, roll down to the ball of the foot, then the heel. Hips are square, it's still elevated, hopefully. And then we curl to the inner arm. We roll the spine down, imprint it down from the top to the bottom, iron yourself out. And then let the tail sink and you feel the waist release. Beautiful. All right, we're going up to standing to work on our upper back extension. So you can roll up and then come up to stand. Side. All right. So the issue with backwards bending is that it's really easy to bend the spine backwards from your waist, because that's where the spine comes in, and from your neck, ditto, right? So what we try to do in Pilates is think about going up, up, up through the center of our bodies, and then waterfalling back to the upper body, so that we're not pushing the hips forward, we're just getting the stretch in the upper back, and then carry it through the neck and the head where appropriate. So it's helpful to start by taking your hands to your low abs. So your hands are below your navel, above the pubic bone, and push the flesh in. Now, you're going to start to lift the flesh up. Imagine you're picking your navel up 1/2 inch to 1 inch, which isn't going to happen. But lift here, you feel like the structure is shifting. And then you come up through the abs to the base of the ribs. At that point, you flip the palms up, the fingers are out, and you're lifting the first rib, then the next one, and the next one, the next one, come up to your chest. Pick up your chest. All this without like pushing the belly forward, you're still like against like a wall here in front of you. And then you slide your hands up to your sternum, slide up the sternum to the collarbones, slide your fingers along the collarbones and out to the top of the shoulder blades. Now, you pick that up a little bit more, draw your elbows back down and together behind you. And then if it works for you, you can take your hands behind your head, maybe the thumbs under the occipital ridge, the base of the skull, and look up and back without going forward with your abs, and feel yourself do a backwards bend in that thoracic spine only, not in the lumbar spine where it normally has a curve. Trying to increase that stretch across the chest here. To come out of it slowly, do not bring your head forward first. Imagine a zipper from the pubic bone to the navel, up to your waist, up to your ribs, up to the chest. The movement of the abs shortening will bring your head back to neutral. You look there and take a deep breath in and out. That felt good? Do it again. I'm going to turn sideways this time. And here again, hands to the lower belly. Press in and start to pull the flesh up. Really push in like the organs are shifting too. That's good for them. They need a little bit of massage internally here. And then when you come up to the ribs, you're going to flip the palm up, the edge of your hand and your pinky finger into the base of the rib. The right along here, that's where part of the diaphragm attaches, right? So the diaphragm's attaching along the base of the rib cage. So give that a little stretch too. Come up, up, up. Without going forward, just go up, then slide your hand along the sternum. Feel the bumps where the collarbones are connected right above it. And then your head slide along the curves of the collarbones out to your shoulders. Pull the elbows back down again and squeeze your blades together. This might help you pick up the chest a little higher. Then maybe you take your hands behind your head. You want to be careful with your neck if that's an issue for you, but with the hands supporting it, you'll probably be able to lift the elbows up to the ceiling and then open them a little wider. So you feel that expansiveness across the chest, or the part up to the sky. Even look back a little bit with your eyes towards your hairline. To feel that stretch all the way in your front line. And then we zip it up from the bottom to the top. So we're moving like up the front line to the navel, to the waist. The ribs start to lower a little bit. Your gaze now, we go down the wall to the horizon, lower your arms. And then see how that feels. Yeah, you all look so lifted, right? Like just the idea of like slumping is like, oh, my body doesn't want to do that. Take a little walk and just see how that feels, like being this elongated in the front line. Because we know we're all like hunched over things all day long. And it's sort of nice to feel, oh my God, my head is right on top of my diaphragm, my pelvic floor, and the center of the earth, right? It's a good exercise to do. You can do this all the time, right? Easy, you don't really need any equipment. Now what we're going to do next is go to the floor and see if we get the same feeling. So remember when we go into extension, you have to go up and then back. Then when you lay on the floor, that means you're going forward and then up and then back, right? Much harder because gravity is going to try to like drop you into the ground from the whole length of your body. Let's just try, right? So here we go. No, like I just want to like stand and like admire that feeling for a while. So, all right, so you're laying it out here, and then let's lower your chest, and you can take your forehead down. Let's bring hands sort of by the armpits, by the side wall of the chest, and the elbows pull back like little swan wings. So you're going to pull back with the other hand, like you're just trying to push them out behind you and see how the chest wants to go forward. Go forward and up, and then pull the elbows down and in. And then you can release down. So sort of like cobra, we're not going all the way up, right? Because I don't want you to just like hinge in the low back and then hinge at the hip to go up. But you're trying to pull the chest forward to get the upper back to roll back. Not nearly as satisfying, right, as standing and feeling that freedom. But this will help you build some strength into the upper back muscles. And then release it down. Did that feel different? Because so many times people try to come up into extension from the ground just by straightening the arms and yanking their back up from their hip flexors. So anyway, here, let's sit back in a child's pose. Round your spine, stretch it out, curl the tail under, hang your head down, and breathe into your back. And then stack your spine bottom to top. Does anyone have any questions, like on with that feeling of doing, Pilates calls them swans, we do the upper back extension. It looked beautiful.